So, as a former people pleaser, I used to look up to people who just seemed like they didn't care. People who were able to just live in their truth, people who could set boundaries. And after a lot of self reflection and work on myself, I can proudly say that I no longer identify as a people pleaser. But there's an ugly truth about setting boundaries that internet personalities and online gurus don't tell you. And that truth is the reason we find it so hard to let go of these toxic cycles or change them is actually because our toxic behaviors, no matter how detrimental, come with some real benefits. As a people pleaser, I was always burnt out. I often felt deprioritized and just stressed out about disappointing people. But it also came with some real upsides. It made me feel valuable and useful, and to a certain extent, made me feel worth something. Obviously, I can't speak for every self-diagnosed people pleaser, but I was a people pleaser because I was afraid to be abandoned. I just wanted to be liked. And my way of doing that was prioritizing the needs of other people over my own needs. And in exchange, hopefully, they'd think highly of me, they'd like me, they'd appreciate me. And I know a lot of people pleasers who like to think that they're people pleasers because they just have big hearts and they just want everyone to be happy. But the ugly truth is, they're just not willing to give up the benefits of being a people pleaser. They're not ready to make the sacrifices necessary to be someone who prioritizes themselves and sets healthy boundaries. The truth is that people who set healthy boundaries aren't people who have some gene that us people pleasers just don't seem to have. They are just people who are willing to make the necessary sacrifices to prioritize themselves. Maybe everyone doesn't like them. Maybe people have misconceptions about their behaviors, their motivations, or their character. And if you want to start setting healthy boundaries, that's the sacrifice. That's the trade-off. So if you're tired of being a people pleaser and dealing with the emotional turmoil that comes with trying to please everyone, you'll have to give up the benefits too. I still have to deal with that discomfort every single time I set a new boundary. But at some point, you have to prioritize what's important to you. And one thing I don't prioritize anymore are the opinions of other people. And let's be real for a second. Even the people pleasiest of people pleasers can't please everyone. It's absolutely impossible. Even if you deprioritize yourself in every single situation, you can't guarantee everyone will be happy. That's the ugly truth. The ugly truth is that when you set boundaries, you're gonna lose some people. Some people are only in your life because they benefit from your toxic cycle of deprioritizing yourself. And the people pleaser tendency, at least my tendency, was to do whatever it took, including abandoning myself, just so other people wouldn't abandon me. But the irony in that cycle is you guarantee that you're gonna feel abandoned because you're ultimately abandoning yourself. By deprioritizing your needs and saying that everyone else's happiness is more important than yours, you abandon yourself. And if you really think about it, like, what if you did lose every single person that's only sticking around because they benefit off of your toxic cycles, from your lack of self-love? What you're left with are just people who don't require you to abandon yourself to be in relationship with them. So yes, there is this false illusion of benefit from being a people pleaser. And maybe at some point in your life it was an effective survival mechanism. But if you want to live a life of abundance, then you're gonna have to step out of survival mode. And you're gonna have to let go of those old cycles that kept you safe. You're going to have to choose yourself. And to me, that will always be a better choice than some unmanageable, unattainable, unrealistic expectation that if you prioritize them, they'll prioritize you. And step into that realization, into that truth that you are enough. That you're enough for yourself and you're enough for the people that matter.